Hello. It's funny how my fingertips were cold, probably because I'd been carrying glasses full of ice. I'm just like warming them up in my pits. I mean, it is meant to be maybe 0 Celsius overnight. Chilly. And to celebrate, I'm going to have some cold drinks because that's the sort of drinks I like. Actually, is it meant to be 0 tonight or is that tomorrow night? Let's have a look. Yep, overnight minimum of 0. Hardly ever happens in Melbourne. Good damn. First real winter in a couple of decades. Anywho, usual stuff. Quiet start. I'm going to make a cocktail. Ah! Ooh. Ooh. Fuck. Okey doke, okey doke. Dicky 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 okey doke. Okey doke, okey doke. Putting this down here. Alright. Okay, get my GoPro ready. And then we'll be kind of ready to make the video. Okay. Doing this. Boy was just like me. Yeah. All right. First cab off the rank. We are going to make an apple orchard thief. Berry and dry vermouth. Berry, dry vermouth. Benedictine. Calvados. Benedictine and apple liqueur. Ooh, I feel like it's colder in that cupboard than it is out here. Okay. What are we doing? Just 1 or 2 people wondering, oh, yeah. Amuse yourselves while I do this. Okay. That's my boozes. Oh, yes. Get the glass ready, and we are doing aromatic bitters. There's my aromatic bitters. Right. Get everything ready. Because here I go now. Okay. And You know what? Fuck it. Tossing up which way to do this, and I'm doing it this way. Baby, it's all right. Almost out of that sherry. The group in a comment, Micro, how you doing? Yeah, Micro, that'd be you denying reality. But anyway. Depending which way you mean that, actually, but. Uh, 10 mils Calvados. Ten mils Benedictine. Ten mils apple liqueur. And 1 dash aromatic bitters. Okay, just adapt. These lids back on. Oh, yes. Who else was there? Dontron, hello. Hell yeah. Okay. Micro, if you don't think there's deep-seated cultural and institutional racism in the United States, and everywhere, I'm not singling out the United States, but we're talking about the United States here. If you don't think there's deep-seated institutional and cultural racism in the US, you're an extremely poor, and I mean fucking pathetically poor observer of reality. And I am, well, thank you, Dontron, just making a video. Oh my god, that tastes good. Ah. All right. All right. Okay, now. No, fucking suck my balls, okay? Suck my fucking balls. Okay? That is a dumb, fucking ignorant, shit for brains fucking attitude. It's denying reality and it makes you look like an absolute fucking cunt, okay? An absolute fucking cunt. No, wait, I did that. Just taking time out to tell it like it is. Say something that genuinely fucking stupid, and I've got nothing but contempt for you. And following it up with something even fucking stupider. You know, I'll take a minute or two of my time to call you an absolutely fucking ignorant cunt. And that's about it. Because those are the statements of a stupid fucking ignorant cunt. G'day, cocktail lovers. This is a comparatively low alcohol content BZen. G'day, cocktail lovers. This is a comparatively low alcohol volume. Jesus Christ, stop trying to be clever. G'day, cocktail lovers. This is a comparatively low alcohol cocktail, and much as I love the really boozy cocktails, it's good to have lower alcohol alternatives as well. It's not like it's no alcohol, it's definitely not that, but there's only like a tiny amount of spirit in it, and it's called the Orchard Thief. It's from the Difford's Guide website. Simon Difford invented it. He said he was making someone else's drink the orchid, as in the flower, the Orchid Thief, and he misread that, thought it was called the Orchard Thief, and the person said, no, it's the Orchid Thief. And he's like, well, I'm going to make one called the Orchard Thief and have some apple elements in it. And that's what this is. And I'm quite keen to give it a taste before I run through some ingredients with you. Ooh, there's great flavors. And the biggest flavor is coming from the sherry in this. But I'll take you through all of the ingredients. As I said, the sherry is front and center in this, and it's the strongest flavor for me. I'm using Pedro Jimenez sherry because that's what I have. I mention this occasionally. I do not drink enough sherry to have more than one bottle, and I know there are very different styles of sherry. So when I make it with PX and someone was recommending a different sherry, it's going to be a different drink. But that's okay, as far as I'm concerned. It's a different drink. It's like, there are very different flavored brandies and gins and whiskeys and all that. So yeah, there's different sherries. And in my case, it's Pedro Jimenez. I did mention it has apple elements. It has both Calvados, French apple brandy, and apple liqueur. This is also a French apple liqueur. This is actually a barrel-aged Calvados, which is unusual, but there's only 10 mils of this in there. It's the only spirit, and there's only a small amount. But these two bring in some apple, which is playing really well with the sherry. Few more ingredients. There's some dry vermouth in here, and there's some Benedictine. So you get that vibe. There's wine-related elements, there's fruity elements, there's herbal elements, and they all come together in a drink I find quite nice. Here's how we make it. In a mixing glass, put 1 1/3 ounces or 40 mils of sherry, then 1 ounce or 30 mils of dry vermouth, a third of an ounce or 10 mils of Calvados, a third of an ounce or 10 mils of Benedictine, and a third of an ounce or 10 mils of apple liqueur, rounding things out with 1 dash of aromatic bitters. Add ice to the glass, stir that for about 20 seconds to chill and dilute the drink, and I'm straining that into a chilled Nicanora glass. If you're in a garnishing mood, I guess you could do an apple slice to keep the apple theme going on. I decided to go as is, unadorned, and it's going really well. Taste is standing up all on its own. It's really pleasant. It is lightly sweet because there's no actual sugar syrup, but there's some sweet liqueurs in there. And all around, I think this one is well worth trying. If you like that type of drink, I think you'll like this. Let me know if you've ever tried it. Let me know what's going on in your world, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. Until such time as I do, I will say cheers. I'm pouring a little bit more in there. That's mostly water, but that's okay. And that's okay. It's one thing to disagree and give points. Why would I give good points to such a fucking moronic, pig, stupid, cunt attitude? Okay? If you're going to say something that fucking stupid, all I'm going to do is tell you you're saying something really fucking ignorant and stupid, and maybe fuck off. BG got in trouble for calling someone who works at the facility a cunt. Oh dear. Yeah. Oof. Oh yes. I guess he can't use his phone to order drug deliveries. VD. Oh, old friend of the stream had the username Video Dude, and he was just prone to spouting really hateful, homophobic, and racist comments. And I said, we don't do that here. And he continued to do it. So I said, fuck you, and blocked him. And he's one of those weirdos who takes that super personally instead of just fucking off. Like, if someone did it to me, I'd just be like, oh, okay. And he didn't. No, you said something absolutely brain dead, stupid, and fucking ignorant, okay? Saying there's no racism in America. What sort of stupid fucking cunt says that, okay? Wake the fuck up to yourself. So I'm not going to let a stupid, fucking, obnoxious, incendiary comment like that go. I'm going to call out, you're being a fucking cunt. And hello, Pat. Yes, VD is Video Dude. So dude is it. And also, I'm not touching it anymore. Get fucked. Show you where you said that. Okay, point one. It's been 60 years. People act like they have no equality. They don't, you stupid fucking prick. And then blah, blah, liberals. You know what? Get fucked, okay? Just get royally fucked. If you want to make a statement, if you want to assert something as fucking stupid as exactly as I said, there isn't deep-seated institutional and cultural racism in America, it's just too stupid to do anything but say, shut up, cunt. Okay? It's that stupid. It is that fucking stupid. And I'm not engaging any further. Get fucked. There is okay, fuck. Okay, for the very last time, I'm engaging with your stupid, ignorant cunt shit. There is deep-seated institutional and race and cultural racism everywhere in the United States, everywhere in the world, but we're talking specifically about the United States, pretending that things like the Civil Rights Act means there is no racism and everyone's equal is profoundly fucking stupid, okay? No, I'm stating the obvious. You're being a cunt, so I'm calling you a cunt. So go stick your fist up your own fucking ass. Okay? You know what? You want to be a prick, I'm going to treat you like a fucking prick, okay? And I do agree the polite face over racism. The polite face for racism is, yeah, insidious. It absolutely is. But what are you going to do? And I'm going to do something with a fun name. Or I was thinking of doing a Dynamite Dewdrop, because that is just a fun name. Stars and Garters. Oh, God. Grapefruit juice and lime juice. And a bitter aperitivo. That is going to be a bitter drink. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the name of this one, Lifetime Ban, because it's speaking to me at the moment. Okay, here's the thing with funny conspiracy theories like that, Dontron. I think somewhere between half and 75% of the time, they're spread by people who are just taking the piss. But because the actual conspiracy theorists are such wackos, they end up latching onto it. Havana syndrome is just, oh my God. That's so bizarre. That whole look it up. I can't be bothered going into it. It's people who reckon, and it's like CIA and State Department operatives who reckon they were somehow exposed to maybe an ultrasonic weapon that made them sick, and it was just the most ridiculous pile of shit. It's so ridiculous. But anyway. And yes, Justin, the Civil Rights Act is a legislative attempt to counter racism. It certainly doesn't make it go away, though. Oh yeah, and LRAD is a terrible thing. What's that stand for? Basically, it's an acoustic weapon. It's a thing. It's designed to do crowd control, but it's terrible. It's to send intense sound wave. Thank you, long range acoustic device. Send really intense sound waves at people that you can't tolerate, like it makes you sick, or although they keep denying it, it can obviously cause permanent damage. And they're terrible things. There are a couple of things that various government folk refer to as, like, non-lethal weapons, and they're just terrible. And yes, the Supreme Court of the US is doing some fucky things at the moment. No problem. Hey, Greg, how you going? Oh yeah, no. Again, the microwave one that I put that in the same thing. It's the way they promote the microwave thing is it fires microwaves at you and will cook you. Um, but they say it's just like it makes you uncomfortable, and it makes you so uncomfortable you have to get out of the way. It's obviously an incredibly dangerous weapon, and the fucking governments who use it or promote its use talk about it not being lethal when it obviously can be, um, in a number of different ways. It's creepy as fuck. Very, very disconcerting things. Now, now I'm going to do this one because I went to all the trouble of getting the sweet vermouth out of the fridge. I'll do the Dynamite Dewdrop. Much as seeing the name Lifetime Ban cracked me up, because it's kind of what I was thinking of. But, you know. Oh, sorry, Pat. You wanted me to see Discord. I will fire up the Discord because I did not have it fired up. What have we got on the Discord? Oh, it's your latest movie, Pat, A Quiet Place, Day One. I did see the trailers for that. What's your rating for A Quiet Place, Day One, prequel to the Quiet Place movies? Can Biden Collins? I know, I did see that. Did you put that meme on the Discord? Yes, it's this whole elevated protection of the president is fucking ridiculous. I mean, for the political class, it's a given that the US president has to have a degree of protection from criminal prosecution because basically every US president does terrible criminal things, and they don't want to be prosecuted for it. But it's getting stupid now. And yeah, that every time though, when one political party or the other puts some law in that's just outrageous overreach, it's because in their mind their guy will never lose power, and I have to say, like, and all sides of politics are guilty of doing this, and it's just like, you need to understand that the person you like least in the world will get this power one day. Oh yeah, no, Clarence Thomas is a fucking criminal. He is a corrupt uh, uh, criminal. Oh, 4 out of 4. Big fan. Yeah, honestly, I thought Quiet Place Day One looked kind of cool. You know, I don't go to the cinemas very often, so I won't see it. On one level, I'd one of the reasons I'd like to see it is because I'd like them to kind of justify how the aliens won, you know, because they hunt people by sound. My guess is going to be just because they're so fast. Because if you had time to prepare, it would be easy to set them up with fake noise and bomb them. Oh, yes, the Project 2025 stuff. That's just like a mad grab by the far right. It's what they want to do. Who knows? Hello, Hannah, by the way. Oh, yes. What the fuck happens at Hannah's work? And is everyone okay with society? You know we love those stories, Hannah. Ooh. Okay, I'm just looking at cocktail. When I blank out for a bit and go, ooh, I'm looking at cocktail recipes and goes, ooh, that's why I saved that one. It sounds good. And the next one. It's in a Plaza Antigua. Añejo tequila. Whiskey, cognac, Benedictine. Sweet vermouth. That's a cousin of the old square. What's in an armistice? Whiskey, dry vermouth. Oh, man, okay. I love it when I look at things and go, well, what's that? Why did I save it? And then I look at it and it's like, oh, man, because it sounds good. Pat, I'm doing well. I hope you are too. Oh, my God. Okay. So a customer was extremely angry, demanding answers. Where's all your 4th of July stuff? Hot damn. Did they forget what country they're in? My God, that is wild. No, Justin, absolutely not. No. I'll leave it till Friday night when there's probably a result, and do it. Yes, Dontron. It was in Australia. Hi, Safa. How are you going? I had supermarket pizza that I put extra toppings on because it was on special. I think anyone in America would be justifiably upset if there wasn't July 4th stuff. It's a bit weird to get angry about it in Australia. Proceeded to say everyone should celebrate 4th of July. It's America. Well, there you go. Oh, it was a Hawaiian. I didn't go in today. It was really funny. I went in yesterday, and I think it might have been a bit quieter than usual. I don't know. School holidays. I think a lot of people, when they can, are working from home because the kids are home for school holidays. So I think it was a bit quieter. But then, like, I went home and my coworker texted me because I start early and finish early, and he's finishing a bit later. And he texts me and goes, "Hey, no one's coming in tomorrow. Are we going to come in?" I said, "Well, if no one else is coming in, I'm not going in." So yeah. Here's the interesting thing: like the stores do go and put Australia Day stuff in. You know, Australian flag underpants and whatnot. But whereas we get a public holiday for the monarch's birthday, king's birthday now, my whole life it was the queen's birthday, now it's the king's birthday. There is nothing in shops about the monarchy, which is interesting. He said, if we're like the greatest country, show proper respect. He sounds like a thoroughly interesting individual, Hannah. That's all I'm going to say. Yep. And I keep thinking the cold spell's over, and it keeps going. This is definitely the realest winter we've had in decades. What are we up to now? Week 3 of this? Last couple of decades, we've only got like one cold week, and it's probably going to last for another week. So it's probably going to be like a 4-week burst of cold weather, which again we haven't had for decades. Yeah, it is. It's kind of like when people, the weirdos, were trying to say, "Oh, it's bloody political correctness, no Australia stuff," and they go like, "No, we stopped stocking it because no one buys it, and we lose money." At the moment, the daytime temperatures are, well, I'll look them up for you. They're like between 12 and 14 Celsius, and the overnight lows have been in the low single figures. Tonight is predicted to get to 0 Celsius, which hardly ever happens in Melbourne. So yeah, like we've got maximums of 13, 14, 14, 12, 14, 16. Ooh, that's positively balmy. And then 14. So we often get the daytime temperature being 14 to 16 is fairly common. The overnight lows are almost never this low. Certainly not for weeks. It can be like that because fuck you, cunt, you were wrong. And then someone asked me about pizza. So it's pretty straightforward. I think of it as zero tolerance for someone being a cunt. And you're a cunt way too often, okay? For whatever mood you come in a mood and you act like a cunt and you say inflammatory shit and you start shit, and I just wasn't in the fucking mood, okay? You got what you deserved. So in a back to fun work story, so Boss disappeared, then apologized for leaving, said if I stayed, I was going to point out celebrating 4th of July is taking the piss out of America, which is what it was. You're getting to 17. It's not meant to get to that here, but who knows? Who knows with this wacky thing we call weather? You know what? I might make another quick thing. Pat, you're cold now. I bet it's cold in your neck of the woods. It's usually much colder in your neck of the woods than here in like Melbourne Metro. So, Henny, saying no one buys the Australia Day stuff. Worked in the party department, ended up with boxes. Yeah, Lord, it was Woolies this year who straight up said, no one buys it. We're just not going to do it. Oh, God, Justin, I bet Canberra's weather's worse. Where are we? Couple of zeros, fours. Actually, really similar to Melbourne. Little bit colder than Melbourne. And in fact, I think they're more likely to be right with the cold in Canberra. Might not get that cold here. So, Hannah, you'd literally have a whole end cup worth of stuff on clearance. Yeah. One of those overly commercialized holidays. It just is. Sorry, I was just checking some massages. People trying to get me to buy alcohol, and I'm going to resist. Our once a year special, 15% off. Damn. And threefold. Buy two, get one free. Damn. Well, it's me just being willpower and not getting any of that. Well, Hannah, to be fair, you do. There was a bad rash at some of the music festivals that were on Australia, like Big Day Out, when that was a thing. Absolute weirdos accosting people and threatening people, like wearing an Australian flag cape and threatening people, to where the organizer said, "Yeah, you can't wear Australian flag capes. We'll throw you out," because they were just being violent. All right. I think FDR did great work, and you get the right wingers who are still super angry at the New Deal. I'd like you to have proper medical support too. I think generally around the world, and it's an issue in Australia as well, probably not as big an issue as in the US, but I don't believe citizens generally are given enough support with medical issues. Ooh, I've heard of Kratom. I don't really know anything about it as pain relief. Are you saying got you off oxy? Well, that's a bloody good thing. Bloody good thing. Safa, not only, as you say, land of the rich for medical things for the basics, but for the truly rich, it's some of the best medical care in the world, and it's just denied a bunch of people. Anyway, I'm going to do a really quick video. Get a lawyer, son. Better get a real good one. Better get a lawyer, son. You're gonna need a good one. Get you out of this one. Right. No, I genuinely don't bear you ill will, and I'd like things to go well for you, but you start shit, and I just wasn't in the mood. I'm magnanimous to far worse people than you. So I don't think you're genuinely a bad person, but I think you start shit unnecessarily. Dynamite dewdrop. Okay. Most of this stuff's going away. I need an throw. There. What do I want tomorrow? I'm lost in the mysterious cupboard of mystery. Montenegro. Dun, dun, dun. Righty, okay, you go there. You go there. You go there. You go there. And brandy. Montenegro. Gin. You must be getting something. Gin. If I got Canberra dry. Chocolate bitters. There's so many bitters, more bitters than a rational human needs. But I don't claim to be a rational human. Yes. 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 This. Okay. What are we doing? Gin. All right. Baby, it's the way you are. Wait a second. I'm gonna use the same glass. melted. Good. All right, let's do that. All right. Oh wow, I thought that was water. It was gin. I almost necked an ounce and a half of gin. That would have been funny. Start the camera, dickhead. $30 of brandy. $10 of sweet vermouth. Dash of chocolate bitters. All right. Push that off. Put the lids back on. Back in the on. And let's do that. Let's check I have the glass in the right place. Ah. Okay. Ugh. Ooh. Get the plane going. G'day, cocktail lovers. This is called a Dynamite Dewdrop. And I have to admit, it was the name that attracted me, but the ingredients sound really interesting too. So I'm quite keen to try it. That is a really interesting combination of flavors. I'll show you how to make it. In a mixing glass, we put 1 1/3 ounces or 40 mils of dry gin, then 1 ounce or 30 mils of brandy, 1/3 of an ounce or 10 mils of sweet vermouth, and 1/3 of an ounce or 10 mils of an Amaro, and rounding things out with 1 dash of chocolate bitters. Add ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink. Then I'm straining that into a chilled Nicanora glass. This is like a nice Manhattan alternative. So if you like a Manhattan, I think you'll enjoy trying this. Give it a go. The Dynamite Dewdrop. Cheers. Goodness me. Okay, I'm making any more videos. I'm just going to sit down. Right. Shifting the power cord out of the way, and now I'm sitting down. And I'm going to make myself a garnish, I think. Oh, hey, Earthwarrior, how you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Well, I'm glad that people gave you positive messages of support, and I'm glad that you're feeling it. Like I said, I don't want bad things for you. I want good things for you. But if you say something that pisses me off, I'm just going to say, you're pissing me off. Oh, wow, that was not good. Nothing to do with you, micro USB. Oh my gosh. Were you getting reported because of your habit of trolling people, and then YouTube in their typical very poor review of that sort of thing? Because I've been on the receiving end of weird people making unfounded complaints on my channel. And YouTube's really inconsistent and untrustworthy. Orange peel, spritz, nice. You didn't troll on this account, but you did disagree with people. Well, see, that just makes us want to care about you more, Micro. Just wasn't in the mood to put up with bullshit tonight. And certainly don't bear any ill will to you. And I certainly wish you weren't feeling alone and things were a bit easier for you. And it is two separate things. Me not being in a mood to put up with if I think you're talking shit, and me wanting good things for you. Two really different things. Well, good. See, neither of us had any hatred or ill will towards that. You know what? I'm just moving past. I went right off, and that was my therapy. But I think we've established there's a lot of love for you. What are you giving me on Discord now, Pat? Oh, is it 3-year? Oh no, it's more now. That's an old post of yours. Is it the anniversary of your wrestling mate Judd? Oh, good. What are you putting on? You're putting on your TikToks again, Pat? I usually can't play them because there's often like music on them, and I'll get copyright struck on them. But I'll look at it off stream, definitely. No dueling, no. Um, and that is tough. That is actually one of the toughest things, not having someone to talk to. So, you know, we can. This is a poor substitute, and hugs are incredibly therapeutic. And again, I'm sure you get lots of hugs if we weren't separated by half the goddamn planet. Hmm. Okay, that's not bad. It's not as good as the first one. It's not bad though. Well, today's going to be rough. Well, if you can carry the positive messages with you, I know they don't change a rough day because rough days are just rough. But even if you can carry with you that you're at least psychologically not alone, you got all this psychic support coming from around the world. Oh, okay. Trust in helplines. Well, that's good advice. Work for Hannah. And you can info dump on someone who's got no connection to you and can do some support. And yeah, another very positive message, Dontron. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. That is, in fact, as we humans as a species survive, the whole lone wolf alpha thing is not real. Humans survive and thrive through collectivism, as in being helpful, being supportive. You can't do it on your own. Well, can't you call anonymously? How again, they wouldn't do that here. And yes, I'm sure some people are now overly sensitive. If someone calls them sounding very traumatized, they'd be worried about violence. Yeah, it's a bit fraught. Oh yeah, so is it the anniversary for your wrestling friend? Big RIP to the big guy. The Smiling Minds app helps talk you through mindfulness breathing. It helps calm down. Ooh. Hannah, I think Micro's maybe talking about things working differently where he is. I don't know. But Dontron, who is in the US, if I remember rightly, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, unless you say something actively threatening either to yourself or others, they usually won't do anything. And hey, you might get Ted Bundy. True story. You're not going to get Ted Bundy because he's dead. But true story, Ted Bundy actually worked on a suicide prevention line while he was murdering people. Aren't humans strange? I think for Ted Bundy, it was still a control thing and feeling like he was powerful if he talked someone down who was feeling bad. Uh, actually prompted, I've mentioned this before, probably a couple of times, the true crime writer Anne Rule. Her first book was called The Killer Next to Me because she was talking she was working on a suicide prevention line and Ted Bundy worked next to her and she said he was genuinely good at it. He genuinely saved people. And so what the hell? And so she really explored. Yeah, it's about clout. I agree. Yeah. He wanted to influence people who have power over them. And yes, Micro, I get that not wanting to go back. But Maybe a bit of research into the different things. Because I know there's more than one service you can call in Australia. I assume there's far more than one in the US. But yes, I would think calling someone anonymously and being able to talk sounds like it could be quite helpful for you. Oh, yeah. I think we all need an actual trained therapist, at least from time to time. But I can also understand if that's very difficult to get in the US, as inexpensive. There you go. There's you get a few people talking from first-hand experience, micro. Yes, I know. Sorry, just this that saying about serial killer who used skins of people for leather clothing actually happened. Oh, yeah, Ed Gein. That's him. Ed Gein was the inspiration for Psycho. Bad, bad person. But, back on the more positive note, call centers ask questions, guide your thinking, focus on what's really bothering you. Yeah? Well, yeah, as I think Hannah's talking about when you get someone really good on the phone, and I hope you're able to as well. Ah, yes, true, Dontron, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I've gone through a lot of therapy. I think it's a very positive thing, therapy and counseling, for all facets of life. Uh, uh, yes, humans should help humans as much as possible. Did therapy when you were younger change life for the better? Yeah, uh, I think in the overwhelming majority of cases, it's a good thing. You know, slightly biased, Mrs. Angry being a psychologist counselor, and she has these neat techniques, EMDR and EFT, that don't seem like they should work. When you find out what they are, you go, well, that sounds stupid. How's that going to work? And yet, the evidence shows they work. And I can say from a first hand perspective, it's quite freaky how they work. Oh, okay. What does workplaces have sliding feels? Sliding. Ugh, wow. I said a word's good. Sliding fee scales based on income. Well, that's a positive thing to hope for. Uh, interspersing drinks with water, and for some reason, singing about it. But, that's the way. Uh huh, uh huh. I like it. Uh huh, uh huh. Ah, okay. What's my take on mocktails? Are you talking about like pre-made ones, like canned ones, or the non-alcoholic spirits that people have been selling for a couple of years now? Uh, yeah. So my take is yuck. But you can go to a good venue or make your own mocktails that can be good. But yeah, the if you're talking about the ones that are sold in shops, mocktails and non-alcoholic spirits, uh, ugh, yuck, terrible, and overpriced. Worse still, overpriced. Like crappy and cheap is one thing, but crappy and expensive, just no excuse. Yeah, that's a fair call, Earth Warrior. The processed mocktails taste like ultra sweetened soft drink. Oh, I thought you got more than one yes for coffee. I feel like if you want coffee, you should get coffee. Hmm. Yeah, well, Mrs. Angry works for the Public Health Service, so I think the people she sees are not paying. Not 100% sure on that, but I think that's the case. I thought you'd find $70 a high amount. Yeah. Well, how are you doing? You're saying the crisistextline.org is free, done by the messaging. Hmm. So what's that, Safa? You have to pay for everything. I think your sentence got lost somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. That is true. While a lot of the helplines are called crisis lines or whatever, you don't actually have to be in a critical crisis to talk, just getting someone to talk. Oh, living in the country. I'm sure resources in the country are far more limited. Oh, I think the public health systems generally in Australia are under a lot of stress, and mental health is cared for even less than physical health. But there's something, I mean, like, this angry worries about people who are probably in crisis but have to wait 6 or 12 months for counseling just because of a lack of resources, lack of funding. Um, yeah, I think that's probably a global thing. Rural areas outside big cities, resources for everything. God, it's like you're in Northwest Georgia. Is it nice country though where you live? I know Georgia's not one thing, but I remember seeing uh, images of some parts of Georgia that looked really nice. Yeah, nice country. Good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like I'd seen images of Georgia that were really nice. Well, having been a country person as well, Safa, I think there can be an even bigger stigma in country areas than in city with things of mental health, which can make it much more difficult. Oof, that's rough. You're advocating for someone, a hospital psychiatrist said she needs to pay for a private psychiatrist to be diagnosed. God damn. Yeah. It's kind of like the world is tough, and the tougher your situation, it's like the less support there is, and which just compounds and gets tougher. I love that. Atlanta's cool, but exceedingly dangerous. Yeah, yeah. I know I'm preaching to the choir, Micro. It's like when things are going tough for you, it's even tougher to recover, which is bullshit. Because someone like I am super privileged. I really am. Uh, um, I got so much going in my favor. and I try to never forget that because I know so many people who have so many layers of adversity that I don't have. Ugh. Yeah, I get that feeling. If when you tell people what's wrong, they don't want to help. Damn. So you found when a year with no support, but then when you found out, it's easier. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. They're like needing a place to shower and stuff. And I have seen some services for people doing it rough. It's kind of like big sort of mobile trucks that have showers in them, will even like cut people's hair and stuff. I mean, I'm a shithead. People that think they're selfish and definitely are. It's like, having had a couple of experiences of helping strangers and then feeling like they saw me as a soft touch and tried to hit me up for more made me angry. But that's a pretty shitty attitude on my part as well. Oof, yes, trying to read through complicated information when you're not functioning very well, not good. Oh yeah, yeah, that van with the shower and stuff. And there's not a lot of it here. It's only in big cities, and there's not a lot of it there. People say they can't afford to give you food. There's stacks of food. Like, yeah, yeah, no, you're you're describing me. I'm an asshole. Yes, a lot of highway truck stops have showers, and they would probably aggressively chase people who are doing it rough away who try to have a shower. And yes, a lot of people will mistake kindness for weakness while they're two different things. And yeah, that is actually the flip side, Hannah. You never know where someone's at. Appearances can be deceiving. Uh, Lots of people doing it rough in different ways. Okay, the thing, some people would absolutely crumble. Yeah, um, a lot of people are only like 3 meals away from falling apart. Oh, well, getting more charitable to people is a positive thing, Dontron. Hannah, you heading off? Sending all the nice wishes to Micro? Oh, yeah, okay, you're talking about people you specifically know. Yeah, I get it. You're absolutely right, Hannah. Just having a chat can change a day. So Hannah's still with you in spirit, Micro. Always leave you. Gosh, dude. Oh dear. Oh, it's a funny old world. Uh, it's the men who want to stay. You're less interested in that. Oh well. Oh god, that's such an Aussie thing to say, Hannah. I'm like a bad smell. I'll always come back. Oh dear. And yes, and loneliness is a global epidemic, and it is It's a health risk. It's not just a mental health risk. It's a physical health thing. And honestly, when I talk about being privileged, that's one of the things that I acknowledge. I'm extremely privileged in having a happy and supportive home life. We are the divergent bunch, Justin. No two ways about it. But I think we does in Asian countries. You mean like the otaku in Japan? There are some very depressing stories about sort of lost generations of folk in Japan. Guys, you missed the point of the bear discourse. That was so weird. And your other favorite saying is not bad for a dickhead eating toast or something like that. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. They call those guys hikikomore in Japan. So then the documentary is that like latter day otaku or is it different? Because the otaku are like the shut in nerds with no social skills. Oh, cool. What's your sister doing in Osaka? No, or she might have now, actually. Uh, she was still posting stuff from Japan recently. Oh, okay. So that's they don't say otaku anymore. It's hikikomara. I have heard that or read that term. As Hannah says, the call can really help. Just even for the day, putting you in a different direction. Some nice icy water now. Ah, yeah, it basically means shut in. Yeah, no, and I've read some super friggin' depressing stories of them. They have somewhere to live, and they're just not able to function. And uh, it's just like they've got no connection to society or the greater world, and it's like, damn, dude. Oh, look, staying inside is fine. Being absolutely unable to go outside is not good for you, and not able to interact with people is not good for you. All right, it's Tuesday night, so not drinking a lot of booze. We're going to avoid too many people, go out very late. You're not alone in that, quite honestly. I think there's a bigger stigma about mental health in Japan. Yeah, you're also not alone in the interaction causing anxiety. What's the pleasure? Well, okay. This is a low level anxiety story because it ended well, but I had my annual performance review with my boss today, and it went really well. And I expected to go really well because I'd only had positive feedback all year, but I was still super fucking tense. And the boss like, okay, we're doing like the annual performance review. And I was like, fuck. And it all went really well, and I got good feedback, and I was just like, fuck. But it's like my imposter syndrome kicks off with the least provocation. Marco, you're going to stay inside unless you have to. You're going to be you want to be a hermit crab, just in your own home that you can curl up in. Earth, you have to stay on the wagon to help your liver. Okay. Oh yeah. Liver damage is not necessarily alcohol, but alcohol won't help liver damage. No. I got a metaphorical gold star. Randomly, you hate MS Teams. I had several MS Teams conversations today because I was at home. One with my boss, one with the person for whom. Oh, dude, I'm a boss now. I have a person reporting to me, and we're currently recruiting for a second person to report. I've never had people reporting to me because I never wanted it, and it's just kind of happened in this job. I'm becoming a boss, a people manager. Shocked if it didn't turn to jelly. Well, like I didn't drink alcohol at all until like 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago. And now look at me, giving medical professionals a real thing. Ooh, yeah, okay, yeah, pain pills, that'll fuck up your internal organs too. MS Teams is why one of the things you no longer have a job. Kept trying to force you to use Teams. Not a team player. Literally, you don't like MS Teams. It hasn't yet, Safa, but get me in a year and see what's happening. Oh, so okay, so you've had a big surgery and you're on road to recovery. I like to hear you're on the road to recovery, man. I have to admit, my workplace is actually pretty good with mental health. Yeah, fuck you. I'm actually fine with Teams. Oh, okay. Sorry. MS Microsoft. So it's Microsoft's version of like Skype or Zoom, online collaboration meeting thing. So yeah. Yeah, it's like TeamViewer. It's just Microsoft's version of online collaboration. Yeah, it's got text and voice and video. And at my boss's suggestion, I regularly change my background because you can have it does this auto green screen thing and you can have whatever background you want. I change my background regularly. Cocktail of the week. Actually, that's a super fucking relevant point, Justin. If you get a bad performance review that you weren't expecting, the boss is doing something wrong. Like, you should know if you're fucking things up, basically. Didn't Microsoft buy Skype? I don't know, but anyway, I don't mind Teams. Earth, you had a hernia. Dang. 10-kilogram hernia. God damn, that's some fucking surgery. Yeah, Skype is still separate from Teams. Teams is different to Skype. Microsoft bought it, but yeah, it's still different. I don't mind Teams. Completely understand Micro not liking it, but I'm okay with it. Oh no. Literally, Dontron, the world record for growths, and then like not non-cancerous, just growths. I've seen the pictures. There was this woman who had a cyst that grew, which is not a hernia, it's different. But anyway, it's a growth, a cyst coming out of her abdomen that was basically the same weight as the rest of her body. It was ridiculous. Yeah, access the database. I fucking hate databases in general. Thinking of another thing. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to share the pictures, but now I just want to say, do a search for biggest growth removed from a human. One of the largest tumors ever taken out of a human was a 303-pound ovarian tumor removed at Stanford Hospital in 1991. And the woman patient made a full recovery. There you go. I just put that thought into your head now. Someone having a growth that's the size of a whole person. And a big person at that. Okay, now I was just looking at text. Now I just thought, do I want to subject myself to images? Yes, I do. Ah, no, no, no. Okay. You know what? I did that to myself. I did that to myself. I knew what it was going to be. Cat says hello. Hello, Micro Cat. I fucking knew what it was gonna be. I was just looking at text, and that was one thing. And so, what if I click on image search for that? And I was going, no, that was traumatizing. And I fucking knew it would be, and I did it anyway. That's on me. Oh, yeah, these were like the doctor's playing on a table. There were a couple of pictures of friggin' people before it's removed. It's insane. Oh yes, Dontron's Golden King Homer. Yes. All hail King Homer. I think I remember ages ago when you came on, and because it's so small and my eyes are so bad, I was going like, I feel like I should know what that image is, and I can't place it. And it's Golden King Homer. Yes. Looks like the woman who is pregnant with. I think the most someone carried. Okay. You know what? I'm going to look it up. Most babies born at once. 9. And they survived. Oh no, it's saying 10. So the record's either 9 or 10. Oh, sorry, tumor. Yes, no. Well, that's there's people with tumors bigger than the rest of their body, and that's just off-putting. The Catholics. Well, I'm one of 10 kids. No multiple births, but 10 kids in my family. Oh, Justin with the share. You're having a colonoscopy. Are you having the spit roast? They doing it both ends or just one end? Oh god, yeah. I was thinking, what sponsor? It's the airline, the failed cut price airline. Sorry. You know you've got some English in you when you see open land, like need to claim this land for the king. Oh. Good. Upper lower. I had a couple of years ago. It was either I think COVID had started when I had it. Or it was just before. I don't even remember. But it was like 2019 or 2020. I had the spit roast, one up each end. Yeah, well, I don't know about you, Earth, but they gave me what they called twilight anesthesia. It's not general anesthesia. And so you recover really quickly. And you're not sick. Like they fed me. Like last time I had general anesthesia, I wasn't allowed to eat or drink for ages because I would have just thrown up. But this one, as soon as I woke up, they were like, and I woke up an hour later and I was like, they went, "Oh, do you want a sandwich?" And I went, "I'm allowed to have a sandwich." Yep, have it. Yeah, basically nodding on benzos. The anaesthetist was explaining it to me. He's going like, you're not actually going to be out like general anesthesia. You won't be aware of anything that happens, but you'll recover really quickly. And I did. It's like I went in for the spit roast first thing in the morning and was home before lunchtime. Wild. Ooh, doing a day trip to get a sleep apnea splint. I'm still on the CPAP machine. I have to keep an eye out on my Facebook memories. It'll have to come up at some point because when I had the sleep test done, I did actually live stream from the hospital room. Micro, you went to the ER for alcohol poisoning. Oh, well, there is two things they can give you for that. One that can literally counteract the effects of the alcohol, and one that just relaxes you, feels good. Yeah, it's like 40 minutes after waking up. It's amazing. Versed, that does sound vaguely familiar, but I don't really do it. The drugs were so good you were flirting with a nurse. Okay, that's good. I didn't flirt with the nurse. I had a sandwich though. I was blown away because I was like first thing in the morning and I zonked out and I woke up and I swear it was only 10:30. Like I went into the surgery at 9 and it lasted forever long. And I woke up, it's only 10:30. I was like, how am I awake already? Your brother's housemate moving with his parents. Oh God. That's the classic though. People who can live with their parents and freaking buy properties. Always happens. What's my computer doing to me? When they had you on morphine. Ooh, morphine can trip you right out, definitely. Last time you had general, you tripped, thought a rat was running around at your hospital with your car keys in its mouth. Nice. Liquid charcoal is okay. Not great. So you weren't that poisoned. Yeah, just that's it. The bank of mum and dad. Oh my god, I have heard. Yeah, Dilaudid is a hell of a thing. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever been on Dilaudid, but I have heard it's a hell of a thing. Ugh. Yeah, well, if it's convenient, it's so weird whenever you see the friggin' media stories about, look at this, 20 something who's got their investment properties, blah, blah, and it's always they inherited money. They're living with their parents and not paying board, and it's just like, fucked. Micro, you might have been on morphine. I mean, morphine is very good at making pain go away. I always remember, like, I hate to say, one of his 1,000 hospital stays, it's kind of like his measure of is this bad or really bad? When he was not feeling great and he's in hospital and they're saying, what can you do? And he goes, can I have some morphine? If they said yes, he's like, oh, wow, I'm fucked. This is a bad one. If they are actually just willing to give me morphine, I'm in a bad way. Rush Limbaugh levels of oxy. That's a high level of oxy. Yeah. And I think we can just safely say fuck you to those pharmaceutical companies who made so much money off it while lying about how dangerous and addictive it was. Never really took off in Australia. I know some people did get prescribed it, but it never became the fucking scourge that it is in the US. And yes, literally, generally, the best way to be denied drugs is to ask for them, and that's everywhere. That's what AZ was saying is like when they said, "Can we get you anything?" If he said, "Can I have morphine, if they said yes, he's going, oh, I'm in terrible trouble. If they said yes, that's them, the fucking Sackler family. And hell fucking yes, they should all be in prison for fucking life. Okay, that was definitely good medication, Micro. Going from my stomach's full of lava and melting to, hey, you're cute. You're going to be here after I wake up. That is a transition and a half. I also, yes, I do want a hat tip Don Tron for Rush Limbaugh levels of Oxy. But that dude was on the drugs. They were all Miss AIDSy. I still, I think it even happened to me earlier today. Thoughts and just like, it's just thinking it's genuinely weird to accept that AIDSy's not here anymore. As I said at his remembrance service, him dying was both the most predictable and most unbelievable thing. Like, of course he's going to die because he's been close to death for 20 years, but it's also really hard to believe he died because in that 20 years, he faced life-threatening stuff a dozen times and always came back. And it's very strange. It's very weird. Just cosmically weird, that one. And yeah, seeing it coming doesn't make it easier. Yeah, I think he did use all 9 lives, Safa. I think there's no denying that. Oof, that's oof, that's a little bit bleak, Micro, but I also get where you're coming from. Yeah, it's brought joy to me. I mean, he was a fucking handful too, quite honestly. But yeah, he's an individual. He's definitely an individual who made a very individual contribution to the world. Yeah, Grasshopper's got the not good prognosis at the moment, but maybe he gets some experimental treatments that keep him around for a few years. Well, if honestly, Justin, if that gives you comfort, the idea that AIDSy would be there to ease you through for an afterlife, I say go with it. So if you're going to be a homeless philosopher, but still a philosopher, man. It's a whole thing. Ugh. Cleansing my system before bedtime with some mineral water. What's this one's flavor? Raspberry and blueberry. It's not bad. It's probably my least favorite of the ones I have, but it's not bad. I like the really light flavor in it. I think it's probably a good mixer. It's not bedtime yet, like for 20 minutes, but I'm just cleansing for. You think about philosophy is not a high-paying career, which is a shame. It's those jokes about someone on a plane and someone collapses and goes, is there a doctor on the plane? And someone saying like, that's when my dad said, oh yeah, go tell them you're a doctor of philosophy. See how far that gets you. And it's just led to all these jokes of people saying, on a plane, someone says, is there a doctor on the plane? And the guy's parent nudges him and goes, you're a doctor. And he goes, I'm not that sort of doctor. And then the flight attendant says, this man doesn't understand the meaning of life and doesn't know whether it's worth going on. He goes, here we go. Doctor of philosophy to the rescue. There you go. You'll be someone that people think about in the future, Micro. I also don't believe in an afterlife. But what is interesting to me is that, matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It just changes state. There, you know, bury us in the ground, we decay into fertile matter. Worms eat us. Uh, it is an odd thing, sort of continuation. That I'm sure from you saying that you've read that that was an actual job uh, in England. I think in the Middle Ages, you just like live at the bottom of a rich person's garden and spout philosophy to them. Yes, I'm. I'm sure you've read that that used to be a real job. Yeah, it was. It was a real job. Hermit philosopher. Uh, well, consciousness, I don't believe, continues after you die. A lot of religions believe it does in an afterlife. I don't believe it does. And yes, nature does recycle us. What if there's a next life, next stage? But it's for see, yes, what is interesting to me is no one can conclusively answer what happens after you die, because no one who's dead has ever told anyone about it. Uh, Anyone who says the dead have said things is full of shit. But uh, the fact that it's unknowable, you can project whatever you like onto it. I would also agree, karmic reincarnation may sound appealing, but wishful thinking. Well, it's not the same. Being resuscitated, not the same. Aidsy certainly never said anything about seeing, heaven or hell or whatever, which various. Well, maybe I'm a bit harsh to call them charlatans, because when you stop breathing, your brain can do all sorts of weird things and make you believe you saw things. You want to come back as be a family dog? I mean, I get that. You've been clinically dead too, and there was nothing. Yeah, okay, exactly, Justin. That's always the question when someone who does believe in an afterlife um, challenges you, because they think something must continue after you die, and it goes, well, what were you before you were born? You're so sure consciousness has to continue after you die. Are you saying you had consciousness before you were born as well? And if you say no, then why must you have consciousness after you die? So you've come a little close Earth, and it was a bit chill. And also, side thing, whole thing with consciousness. It's why the tech bros who start talking about genuinely self-aware AI, artificial general intelligence, they're full of shit, because we can't even define what consciousness is. So how do you create an artificial consciousness when you can't actually define what a biological consciousness is? Do you want to be an experiment? Get launched at the sun? I mean, hey, why not? Justin asked the question, why am I home? Yeah, base philosophy right there. Oh, you had sepsis. Yeah, that'll fucking stop your heart. Once your blood turns to poison, that'll fuck you up. Which is another easy one. He had that a couple times. But yeah. Oh, now I love it. We've gotten into philosophy, the nature of consciousness and reality, perception, life after life. Uh, again, anyone who says they're doing that is talking utter bollocks. I know it is okay, and I always, whenever I shit talk like the singularity, which is uploading consciousness to computers, etc. I do need to preface it with people who are way smarter than me are convinced they're going to get it right. I think they're self-delusional, and it's kind of like no matter how smart you are, you have the capacity for self-delusion. And I think the singularity, the rapture of the nerds, the live on forever as a consciousness, uh, they're deluding. It's wishful thinking, and they're deluding themselves. But see, here's the thing: like, can't map the synapses exercise, but that's any processing limitation is temporary. So I don't think that's the reason it isn't going to happen. I think the reason it isn't going to happen is that humans can't even define consciousness. Humans cannot define what makes consciousness. And yes, Micah, I think you're right in that it is literally impossible to predict what might be possible in 50 years. That is absolutely true. Um, but yeah, I know you're talking. Yeah, I know you're talking about current tech, but that's not even what I wrote about. It's not technological limitations that stop consciousness being uploaded. It's the fact that humans can't even define what consciousness is, what makes consciousness. So how do you replicate it? How do you upload it when you don't even know what it is? Oh yeah, the the power of computers is incredible, and that's why when someone cites, well, we can't do that because of limited processing power, I go, that's temporary. Just assume processing power is not going to be a limitation forever, possibly not even a limitation for a long time. Uh, but for me, the whole consciousness thing isn't about computing. It's about humans not understanding what actually makes consciousness. Love that as a answer. Earth, flat earthers, only look at your tummy to know Earth isn't flat. China shuts down crypto. I have not heard anything of that. So now I feel compelled to look it up. Uh, okay, well, it's not showing up in headlines, so I'll do a search. China shuts down crypto. Crypto is a scam, by the way. President Biden shut down a Chinese crypto miner in Wyoming, but dozens of others remains. After China's Bitcoin, that's from 2023. China's Bitcoin mining ban, Bitcoin stronger than ever. China shut down illegal crypto service. Well, doesn't seem to be anything, but just think about the person who got stabbed at Sydney Uni. A fucking 14-year-old. Jesus. So a 14-year-old dressed in like military style camo stabbed someone. Known to police and other government agencies. Mixed and unclear ideology, not religious. The fuck? Well, that's going to be weird as that progresses, I think. Damn. Well, that's depressing. Chinese wheat farms in Oklahoma. Okay. Buying tons of land, having people come to southern border to work and Amazon fans to deliver. God damn. That's what we call the entrepreneurial spirit. God damn. The Oklahoma government's trying to stop non-citizens from buying it. Damn. You think the Chinese have huge grow operations out west? Well, there you go. It's a complicated friggin' world, isn't it? We live in a weird and complicated world. Ah. Yeah, I just feel like going back. Crypto is a scam. Also, my successful retirement depends on me making some money from crypto. But anyway. Were you talking about the weed farms that have big electric fences using lots of electricity? Well, that sounds like classic marketing, Dontron. Weed dispensaries grow about a dozen strains but label them differently. We had an incident this week with these things called mushroom gummies that talk about, yeah, these are good for you. And it's kind of like nudge wink mushrooms. They'll get you high. And a bunch of people got hospitalized because it was like an uncontrolled dose of something probably hallucinogenic, probably toxic. And it was ridiculous. I know, actually, that's a fun statement. These illicit Chinese grow operations hurting the U.S. marijuana economy. The Amanita mushroom. No, they were actually thinking. No, it's not psilocybin. It's some chemical derivative, I think. So does that count? The company apologizing for selling toxic products? Interestingly, I interact with people occasionally from the Department of Agriculture, and they are experimenting. They got like a cooperative thing with universities, and they're growing both medicinal marijuana and experimental mushroom hallucinogens to experiment with treatments. Look, okay, mushrooms are wild because they're a poison, as in like the psychedelic, psychoactive mushrooms are a poison, um, but a controlled dose changes how you view the universe. And yes, you need to be a good place mentally because if you're not, having your mind opened can be bad. But it certainly is. Oof. I've never done one of the really full on things like rich white people go to South America and have ayahuasca ceremonies and whatnot, and they just talk about how friggin' wild it was, and how they do literally change how they view. Not rich enough to do that. Terence McKenna thought the psilocybin mushrooms were alien. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Experimenting with mushrooms, drugs for depression in Oregon. Ketamine is used in medicine a lot as a sedative, and I think for a few other things. So Don Tron is saying the 4 blah 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 group in mushrooms occurs nowhere else in nature. Okay. I know there are some, like it's different psychoactive mushrooms around the world. I know there are some native plants in Australia that are psychoactive. Some which are apparently super dangerous. Like if you do not control the dose, it will like fuck you up. You will totally dissociate and not know who you are and not know who anyone else is and not know what's going on, which does not sound like a good time to me, just throwing it out there. Yes, there are a lot of things that are good in low doses for the depressed brains. Oh, so there you go. There's a particular strain of mushrooms originally from Australia. There, and they're stronger than regular psilocybin mushrooms. Yeah, well, there's this. I know there's this other plant, Datura. I think it's like it's got a couple of names. One of the names is Datura, and I think it's not a mushroom. I think it's kind of like a succulent. Although I could be wrong. Now I'm going to look it up. But it can be. I think it just grows around Sydney. It can be really dangerous. Datura plant. Highly poisonous vesperine flowering plants belonging to the oh yeah, that's right. It's in the nightshade family, also known as Jimson weed. Yes. So in controlled doses, it can have potential medical uses, but it's poisonous. Like it's really dangerous poison. And yeah. No, bad trips for days. I've heard terrible stories. Okay, that sounds like fun. United school camp. Some boys stuck an end of bamboo from the river in the camp ash and sucked on the other end. Yep. Oh yeah, it's boys trying to smite dried gum leaves using the toilet paper. Oh god. Oh, sodium pentothal. Good lord. Okay, yeah. Makes you open suggestion. Like this was actually someone I knew, like talking about the bad trip. Someone who dissociated for at least 12 hours. Like they literally didn't know who they were or who anyone else was, and were like bad tripping for days afterwards. It's bad. It's one of those things was like it's a poison, like literally kill you, but lower doses can have different effects. But the idea of using it recreationally, such a bad idea, because the gap between a trip dose and a toxic dose is so small. It's a bad idea. And you get those weird, it's natural. How it can be. There are lots of lethal things in nature. Yes, micro. Yes, Israel does seem to be trying to destroy all of Gaza, and it's and killing tens of thousands of civilians. It's not good. Yeah, the opium poppy is natural. Snake venom's natural, for fuck's sake. Yeah, there are lots of natural things that'll just straight up kill you. So I do get really annoyed at hippies. You go, it's natural, man. Like, shut the fuck up. You've tried opium. I haven't. In any of its forms? Actually, that's not strictly speaking true. Probably some hospital anesthetic was opium based. I've never had it outside of a medical setting. Right, it's almost bedtime. I'm going to put a little bit of flavor in this because Mrs. Angry's going to put that orange peel in her hot chocolate in the morning. So I'm going to put a little bit of fun flavor in it. Didn't care for it? Made you tired? Yeah, that's apparently what it does. Puts you to sleep. Oh, yeah. Bloody, weed tragics. Guys, people who sound like they're stoned all the time. Oh, I've seen acid casualties as well. That's unsettling. People who've done too much acid and are kind of permanently fucked up. They're fucked with their brain chemistry too much. Not saying I bought acid from acid casualties back in my misspent 20s, but I've seen acid casualties, and I've seen people fuck their lives up on heroin. I've seen people have psychotic episodes because of overuse of amphetamines. Oh yes, peyote is big in Central and South America, if I understand. And that's what I was saying before. You get rich people pay to go and see a shaman somewhere in South Africa and do an ayahuasca trip, and like, damn. Yes. I'm talking about wild and crazy times, so far removed, it's like it was someone else. But we have reached bedtime. You know a guy, he knew a guy, did too much acid. Now he thinks he's a cup of water. If he fall, he needs to drink water refilling. Well, that's fun. You reckon flashbacks aren't really from drugs, PTSD? There's probably something to that, honestly. So I haven't done like ceremonial cherry eating for a while here, but I'm gonna do it. Because it's so fucking yummy. Oh my god, so good. I love it so much. Oh, that is so good. Yum. I love those fucking cherries. Anyway, you fine and funky folk, I'm going to go sleepy bobos. I will probably be back on Thursday night. Gonna buy cherries so you can eat cherries with me. Yay, cherries. Summer's cherry season, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe you can get some good price cherries where you are. Yes, that I'll probably be back on Thursday. What am I watching tomorrow, Safa? The Bear. Mrs. Angry and I decided, because season 3 of The Bear just started coming out, we decided to rewatch it from season 1 to get the vibe happening. So that's what we're doing. Sleeper, yeah, remember all the advice about calling a helpline as well, Micro, just to have someone to talk to. It could be very useful. You just started The Bear? Yeah, it is a great show. But that's what I'm watching tomorrow. We're kind of like halfway through season 1. I'm going to work through and then watch the new episodes. It's on Disney. The Bear is on Disney Plus. Just starting season 3. Very good show. About a cafe/restaurant. It's wild. Anyway, you'll take care. Probably back on Thursday.